Ancient sports. The drive for competition and entertainment has always led humans to formulate new sports in every era. This video is in an iceberg format, delving into increasingly obscure ancient sports, with ones you would have heard of at the top, and those you probably don't know at the bottom. Now, let's dive into it. The Pentathlon. Where better a place to start than the ancient Greek Pentathlon, a competition within the ancient Greek Olympics involving 5 events: jumping, discus, foot racing, javelin throwing and wrestling. The Pentathlon was incredibly important in ancient Greek society. For example, the foot race, or stadion, brought such fame for the winners that often the whole Olympiad, a period of 4 years, was named after them. Another significant thing about these events is that they were competed in naked, as part of honouring the gods and the heroes. I have a video on this topic if you want to know more. Chariot racing, one of the most popular sports across the ancient world. Despite the chariot's original development in Mesopotamia in the 3rd millennium BCE, the first mention of chariot racing comes from the Indo-Iranians with the Kukuli Treatise, a text about the training of horses from the 14th century BCE. Chariot racing became increasingly prominent in ancient Greek Olympics and, subsequently, in ancient Rome, where there were 4 chariot racing teams, blue, green, red or white, and fans were often loyal to just one team, with sports betting and fractional rules breaking out, much like modern day sports fans. And its significance is lined out in a Roman satirist who said, "If the Greens lost, the whole city would be downcast, as if some great national defeat had occurred." Sumo. Prehistoric wall paintings suggest that sumo originated from an agricultural ritual dance for good harvest. The first known mention of sumo was from the 712 BC Kojiki manuscripts, which suggest the possession of islands were decided in a match of an early form of sumo between the kami, or gods, Takamikazuki, god of thunder, swordsmanship and conquest, and Takaminakata, god of water, wind, agriculture and hunting. The Nihon Shoki, or Chronicles of Japan, dates the first sumo match to 23 BC, when a man named Nominosukine fought against his opponent at the request of the emperor. Though in ancient times sumo was thought to be a fight to the death, later in the Heian period official rules were made. Venatio. This was the hunting and killing of wild animals in Roman amphitheatres, often as a warm-up for the main gladiator duels. Many exotic animals were killed for sport by the Romans, from lions to bears, hyenas, foxes, and even crocodiles. Pankration, an ancient Greek sport combining boxing and wrestling, popular among the Spartans, and also thought to be used in their warfare. It is said the Spartans at the Battle of Thermopylae fought with their bare hands and teeth once their swords and spears broke. Polo. With its origin in ancient Persia under the name choga, it became the national sport, often played by Iranian noblemen as well as women. It became popular in the Parthian Empire in about 247 BC, and the game spread across the ancient world, often used as a way to train cavalry units from Persia to Constantinople to Afghanistan, China and even Japan. There was one interesting letter along with a mallet and bull sent to Alexander the Great by the Iranian king Darius III. The note said, instead of warmongering, Alexander should just go play a game of polo. The Mongol ruler Genghis Khan was also a prolific polo player. Chinese wrestling. Over 6,000 years ago, the earliest term for Chinese wrestling was jiaodi, or hornbutting, as it was a type of ancient martial arts where soldiers with horned headgear attempted to push, butt and throw to defeat their enemies, emulating the contests of cattle. Ancient Chinese legends talk about the Yellow Emperor, who commanded soldiers who used this technique, but in later times younger people would use these techniques in games. In more modern terms, this form of wrestling has come to be known as xiaojiao. The hopplipodromos. Its translation in Greek, meaning race of the hoplites, this was a foot race of competitors wearing nothing but a helmet, greaves and a shield, and it was performed in an Athenian festival called the Panathanaia, and more widely across Greece. It was as much a sport as it was a military training exercise, as research shows that the sport's introduction coincided with military encounters with specialist Persian archers, and so fast rushing infantry maneuvers would have been required to close the gap. Mesopotamian rugby and bowling. In ancient Mesopotamia, they had a form of rugby similar to the modern one, though it was called major and played with a wooden ball. They also found evidence of bowling with pins and a ball, thought to be popular across Mesopotamia, though someone had to manually reset the pins every time. The first evidence of bowling actually comes from ancient Egypt, where wall paintings depict the game's play. Tsuju, often credited as the world's first kicking ball sport, with some historians suggesting its invention was estimated to be from 255 BC all the way to 5000 BC. It involved kicking a ball towards a small net around 40 centimeters wide, without using their hands and without the ball touching the ground. A competitive match had about 12 to 16 on each team. Another version was developed that removed the net and set penalties if, for example, a pass was too short, leading to the ball touching the ground. Later, this was developed into our idea of hacky sack. Dragon boat racing. Dating back to over 2,000 years ago in ancient China, the sport was spurred from an ancient folk ritual in celebration of the 5th day of the 5th lunar month on the ancient Chinese calendar, to encourage good harvest and worship in a dragon. One legend originates the event after a death of a famous poet, Qu Yuan, who drowned himself in the Milua River. Some legends say that they raced their boats in an effort to locate him, and, when unable to, splashing the paddles in order to scare off the fish that would have eaten the dead poet's body. Other legends say that they came to feed the body of the poet, but the water dragon would always get to it first, until the dead poet's body came back from the dead and suggested wrapping the food in leaves, which is where the Chinese got their idea for the festival's signature sticky rice dumplings. Dambe Boxing. Characterized by fighters wrapping thick cord or rope around their dominant hand, which acts as a spear, while the non-dominant hand acts as a shield. Dambe Boxing originates from the Hausa people of Nigeria around the 10th century, though its actual origins could go back much further, and so I classify this as ancient. Kho Kho and Kabbadi. Kho Kho is an ancient tag-like game from at least the 4th century BC India. 2 teams of 9 competed on a rectangular field with a middle line between 2 poles, where 8 of 9 members of the attacking team sat. One attacker at a time could attempt to tag 3 defenders running around the pitch, but the attacker could not cross the middle line without going around one of the poles. To get around this, the attacker could touch one person sitting in the middle and say Kho, so the person sitting down would continue the chase. It was thought of as a similar version to a game called Brathera, though that one was played with chariots instead of people. Kabbadi, estimated from 1500 to 500 BC, is an ancient team contact sport involving 2 teams of 7. The teams take turns to send one player to try to touch as many people in the defender's half and get out without being captured by them all. The game gets its name because the attacker is expected to complete each attack in just one breath, and to prove it by repeatedly chanting the word Kabbadi, Kabbadi, Kabbadi. Cavemen wrestling. The very oldest depictions of wrestling come from over 15,000 years ago in southern France. In 7000 BC, Mongolian cave paintings depict wrestling of 2 men surrounded by crowds. This I found to be the most ancient and perhaps originating form of any sport. Episkyros, an ancient Greek ball game between 2 teams of 12 to 14 each. This full-contact sport was comparable to American football, with a central line and a line either side, the goal being to force the other team behind the middle line for as long as possible. The Romans later copied the sport, and it became the harpastum. One ancient account by Athianus goes, "Harpastum is the game I like most of all," describing the game in which he seized the ball and passed it to the teammate while dodging another and laughing, pushing out of the hands of another fellow he raised to his feet. The Mesoamerican ballgame, or pits, a ritualistic sport played by pre-Columbian Mayan peoples since 1650 BCE. Due to so many variations over such a long time, it is possible that the Mesoamerican ballgame was actually a variety of game, instead of it having a singular rule set. Some involve hitting the ball back and forth with only the hips, others with sticks. The one seen by 16th century Spanish colonizers involved hitting the balls through stone circles above the court. The game could have been brutal, played by heavy, solid balls, and it's possible there could have been a spectacle before human sacrifice rituals. The Greater Panathanaia. While the ancient Olympics inspired many events of the modern Olympics, the festival of the Greater Panathanaia could bring rivaling significance. One event was a 2-mile-long uphill relay race to bring a torch from a temple to the top of the Acropolis at the altar of Athene. This was highly influential in the modern opening of the Olympic Games. While this event entirely was dedicated to Athene, another event was a boat race dedicated to Poseidon, the two gods that in mythology are in competition for patronage of Athens, though during the procession, one trireme, or tribute ship, is dedicated to Athene, showing definitely that she is the patron of the city. Naumachia, or naval combat, was the ancient tradition of staging naval battles as mass entertainment. The first was staged by Julius Caesar in 46 BC to celebrate the building of a new temple of Mars. This included making 2,000 combatants and 4,000 rowers, all prisoners of war, fight in a specifically dug out water basin. These Naumachia often represented historical factions from history, such as the Greeks and the Persians, and played out events. Soon emperors staged Naumachia within amphitheatres, and Titus eventually did so within the newly built Colosseum in 80 AD. Savika. This Zubu wrangling sport has its origins in the ancient rituals of the Bastillo peoples in the highlands of Madagascar, where they took the animals to trample on rice paddies and to improve the soil, mounting them to further excite the zebu and to press deeper into the soil. The goal is to grab the zebu's neck and hold on for the longest time, the most resilient not winning any prizes except for the respect of the community, often hailed as heroes of the area. Pitch pot. A traditional Chinese game where players would throw by hand arrows into a pot. It is thought to have been developed from archers of the Warring States period as a pastime, but it did become very popular across China, especially amongst the elites, and spread to Korea and Japan. Marn grook, an Australian Aborigine sport, meaning ball game, in which two teams of players took turns punting a ball up into the air, and whoever leaped to grab it first got credit. The games could last hours and only ended after one team admitted that the other had won, with individual prowess being praised, often with the tallest being able to grab it with the highest chances. There is no known date for the origin, but when colonizers came, the game had been going on from generation to generation, and so I classified this sport as prehistory. Pearl ball. This ancient Chinese game is the traditional sport of the Manchu people, originating when Manchurian pearl divers played the game for leisure after diving for pearls. The game was somewhat similar to basketball, bouncing, passing and moving the ball to score it into a net. However, out of the 6 players on a team, 1 was holding the net itself, which was only slightly bigger than the handball-sized ball, and 2 people were holding paddles to try and block the ball from reaching the player who could catch it with their net. Moche Toss. The Moche culture existed in Peru up to 2000 years ago, around 100 AD. Ancient pictures show a sport of the Moche people where they threw spears and a feathered object, attempting to hit it before reaching the ground. This was probably a practice for hunting birds, and can be compared to a spear-like version of modern skeet shooting. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Leave a like if you did, and let me know of any ancient sports I didn't mention down in the comments. Thanks for watching.